NFL coaches are being very honest this offseason. This is cut from the same cloth as Harbaugh being honest. This clearly, to me, Doug Peterson saying, man, he's going to have to change his leadership style and reach out to the entire locker room. And I like the point he made about Brett Favre, because Brett Favre was a good old boy. But everybody in that locker room loved Brett Favre.
Right.
Whether you was from the hood or whether you was from the sticks like him, he knew how to connect. Carson Wentz from the sticks, he's going to have to learn how to reach across the aisle.
Look, he's been honest, and he's also stating the obvious. Now, Carson Wentz has had some support from guys across the aisle. Fletcher Cox comes to mind, the people who have supported him. But what he's talking about is what we've all witnessed, which has been the Philly way the last 2 years. There's some lightning in the bottle that Nick Foles was able to capture that went beyond the tangibles to the intangibles, and it rallied this team 2 consecutive years. One time they won the championship. So now he's looking at Carson Wentz, and he's like, dude, when you're healthy, you're a baller. When you're healthy, you check all the boxes in terms of the tangibles. But the intangibles, that's where we have room to improve, because we know that energy's in the building. If it was just once, then we would say, okay, a one-off. But it happened again. So now that guy's gone, and we have invested in you. It's your turn to find that same bottle that somehow, some way, Nick Foles continues to find in this building, and make sure you get all you can out of your teammates.
You know, they're two different type of players, Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, but I'm a firm believer that leaders are born and not made. You know, you see some of these young guys coming in the NFL, and you can tell right away when they're going to be a leader. They come in and take control of the locker room. They come in and take control of the huddle.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they come in right away. Now, they'll learn the different coverages. They'll learn to watch film. They'll learn these other things. That comes with growth. But you can tell when a young guy they come in the locker room and they're ready to go right away. Carson Wentz isn't that guy. He's just not that way. Not only you can tell, from Nick Foles being on the field and tell the two difference in the attitudes, the body language. When Nick Foles is playing, guys see him a lot more happier. We've heard at least 4 or 5 different occasions of players coming out saying something about Carson Wentz and the way he reacts to his teammates in the locker room. I just don't believe this is going to change. I believe he just needs to handle things differently. I also believe that because he wasn't on the field and he was injured, it's really hard to be a leader when you're hurt. You're asking the guy to lead your team and get everybody on the same page, but he's not even on the field. So he might have been dealing with something else, and I can tell you that when you're injured and you're away from the team, it is a lonely place.
Right. They don't want to hear you barking at them when you ain't balling.
You can't start to yell at your team. You can't tell them to pick it up. You just feel almost like you're in the outskirts and you're not part of the team because you hurt and you can't contribute to your team. So I do believe that has something to do with it. I don't believe Carson Wentz is going to change because I believe that's who he is.
So this is how I see it. Is very similar. Is you say the coaches are being honest. Coaches are seeing what's happening in Pittsburgh, and they're going to nip this in the bud right now. We're not going to make like our quarterback is better than everybody else. We're going to do things the right way. And if I got to come out to the media and say it and you have to change, then so be it, because we're going to nip this in the bud before it gets going. 2017 and 2018, Carson Wentz was hurt. You're withdrawn from the team. You're kind of alienated. It's hard to lead when you're not in the huddle. You can, I'm the leader of the team. When you're not playing, you're not in the meetings, you're not on that field, you can't lead. Guys are going, well, you ain't even playing. You ain't even practicing.
Right.
And so that happens. If he can consistently stay healthy, he'll be all right. The maturation, that will come naturally. He'll learn different guys. What he was saying is he's probably really cool with the offense, but he doesn't really deal with the defense.
No.
That will come.
I don't think his criticism has come from a couple of receivers. Remember, they think he favors John Ertz, the tight end.
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz, the tight end. But, TJ, this is where I think you can speak to, because, again, a lot of times that quarterback room and that receivers room, that's 2 different neighborhoods. That's 2 different sides of the track.
Yeah.
And the quarterback who can go hang in the receivers room and maybe have a drink with him on Tuesday or Monday or whatever, that not every quarterback can deal with that. That's what I think.
So you know what needs to happen is this offseason, when they're in OTAs, Carson Wentz gets the receivers and they watch the practice together. They watch the practice together and he says, okay, this is what I was looking for on this route and this is what you did. You start to do that and that's building up cachet with the players. That's leadership right there. But you're just doing it because you want to win.
no. That we need to hit the club together.
Yeah, that interdependent relationship.
No,
you don't have to
do that.
But it speaks volumes to the trust factor.
We can go out to eat. We can go out to eat. You ain't got to go to the club with me. Let's just go eat. We might go to the club after we eat.
The problem is,
you can go home.
Hold on. If you're comfortable in your skin and we understand you're different than us, but we respect you equally, you ain't got to come to the club with us.
Never.
But when you're distant or you're not coming across the aisle, as Coach said, you need to hit the club here and there just to let me know that you're not judging my side versus just loving your side.
Very much so. We have to spend some time outside of football together. We have to.
When I hear a coach say he's not vulnerable enough, that just shows me that he doesn't take the criticism. He's not opening himself to the rest of the team. Maybe he's shelling himself off. He's not going to hang out. He's not going to doing the OTAs and they're going to do off-season things together. You see Russell Wilson and some of these great quarterbacks who have the chemistry with their team. They go somewhere for the offseason. They work out somewhere completely different. They hang out during the offseason. That's not.
You know what else he can do? Carson Palmer used to do this in Cincinnati. After training camp, he would have a big party at his house, invite the whole team. And he would do it twice a year. During the season and right before training camp, invite the whole team. And so he can do things like that. And you're not going to interact with everybody, but you'll interact with certain guys. You do those type of things.
He on a rookie deal. His house ain't that big.
Dude, but
sometimes,
and Shawne, I know you can relate to this.
Hey,
sometimes it's
here's
like,
a first pick.
It's like any relationship, though. It's like any relationship with a woman or whatever. You may have to go some places with a woman that really isn't your thing, but you just let her know. I've been to a Kenny Chesney concert. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but I put on a smile and acted like I
got to swallow it real like, I got to do this for you.
No, and I get that. Phillip Rivers, we couldn't get him out to save our life. Like, he just wasn't the person that's out and about and doing anything. Everybody else we got out at least one time. Like, that was my goal. I wanted to get everybody out at least one time. Yeah. We never got Phillip out. Not one time.
Kids.
But at the same time, whenever we had team functions or whenever we had team meetups or whatever we did, Phillip was the one. He would come over and sit at the table no matter who was there. It could be all D linemen, all linebackers, all DBs. Phillip would come over there and sit down in the middle of whoever it is and joke and laugh and do everything that we did. And I don't see that happening with Carson Wentz.
Okay.
No judgment.
When you did that with Phillip Rivers, or what year was he in?
Phillip Rivers would come down and rap whatever the latest rap song on there with radio.
But this is the key, though.
He would do, if we had Freestyle Friday.
Phillip Rivers, he's present, though. He's present.
That's
Carson Wentz has been absent, alien, because he's been hurt.
But at the same time, I've been there. I broke down the team or got in the huddle in street clothes before a game just to get the team hyped up. You can still be there. The problem is, and what I'm hearing from the coaches, he's just not vulnerable. He's not around the guys, so they don't have that relationship with him, and you don't have to go to the club for that.